Another Jekyll and Hyde team is the Alice Cowboys. That's right, because there's no D in Dallas after last week. They gave up 35 points in the first half to the New Orleans Saints. We talked about, how they do look a lot better this year. 4 touchdowns to Alvin Kamara. So, like, is this the Dallas defense, or is it the defense we saw against the Cleveland Browns week one? If the defense is what we saw last week, I think Dak Prescott is in for a huge year because we saw this a couple of years ago where the Cowboys defense couldn't stop anybody, and Dak Prescott was just slinging mad volume. He was passing for probably, I think, close to 5,000 passing yards. He's got CD Lamb, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and I think Jalen Tolbert is going to emerge as the number 2 there. So I see lots of potential on this Dallas offense, especially if that defense keeps getting shredded.
Did you have any concerns with how the second half went, where it was just throw against the Saints, and Lamb, I'm pretty sure, got shut out in the second half? Dak didn't appear to have his best, his best game on him, and he wasn't producing in the second half last week.
I mean, yeah, a couple interceptions wasn't ideal, but I think more often than not in these types of situations where he's just in comeback mode, we're going to see lots of fantasy points, and that's what I'm looking for. Probably not good if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, but if you have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and like I said, Jalen Tolbert, I think could emerge here. You could get some pretty good weeks here.
And so what do you think, though? I mean, so Dak still he was in comeback mode the whole game against the Saints and he just had 1 passing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his best game, but I think we've seen Dak has had great games before. So I think he's, I'm not questioning whether or not he's capable of having 4 touchdown games.
I think
there's going to be some weeks where that happens.
I think Dallas was very surprised that the Saints punched them in the mouth and they just weren't prepared. I think Dak will be a lot more focused. On the other side of the ball, what do you expect out of the Ravens?
Well, there's no D in Dallas or no D in Alice, so probably good things.
Are we expecting Lamar to just shred them through the air and on the ground? Are we expecting a high-scoring game? Do the Ravens start 0-3, right? It'd be crazy.
I mean, if you remember last year, James Cook, towards the end of the season with Buffalo, just absolutely ran over the Cowboys. I think it could be that. When you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, I think they could just absolutely shred them on the ground. But we shall see.
I think it's set up for Henry to finally have his first, this is what is going to happen with him and the Ravens, and it's going to look unstoppable because the first 2 weeks, he's got in the end zone, but he hasn't really looked great as a runner. So that definitely can change this week.
He got around 80 rushing yards, I think, last week.